Thanks for staying with us. It is still in the game on News Central TV. And yes, officially, it is less than 48 hours, less than 24 hours to the kickoff of the biggest football showpiece on the African continent. Talking about the African Cup of Nations that will go down over there in Ivory Coast. And a lot of teams are actually jostling and getting ready, playing friendly games. And of course, making sure that their teams are intact as they head into the tournament. A lot of these teams have been tagged as favorites. But of course, we've got our very own correspondent over there, Favour Itwa, who'll be bringing us all the juicy updates from Côte d'Ivoire. Good to have you with us, Favour.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Doka Njoku. I would say bonjour.
All right, bonjour, and I'm glad that you're beginning to learn a bit of French over the great stuff that you're doing. Let's talk about what has been happening so far. I mean, it's less than 24 hours to the kickoff of the Africa Cup of Nations.
I think we'll start from the security angle. The security has been beefed up by the government of Côte d'Ivoire. The name gendarme around different parts of the city. Also, decorations have gone through the major parts of Abidjan with the CAF flag and, of course, the Ivory Coast flag and other African countries showing that they are ready to welcome them into their country. And just about today, we had the first major press conference, of course, that involved the host nation, Côte d'Ivoire. And in the next few minutes, we will be having Guinea-Bissau, that's the opponent, the press conference, that's the pre-match press conference before the start and the kickoff of the tournament. And also, we also know that today we'll be having a press conference involving the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, who will be addressing the football nation of Africa right here. So we're currently at the venue for the press conference. It's called Palais de la Culture in Abidjan, and it's just behind me. This is where we'll be having the press conference and, of course, the pre-match press conference of every team that would play in Abidjan, including Nigeria's Super Eagles.
All right, talking about what's happening over there, I'm seeing a couple of videos of market sellers. Everyone is selling merchandise that has to do with different teams, but I've seen more about the ones over there in Côte d'Ivoire. I know football jerseys are naturally expensive, but I'm sure the price would have tripled by this time in Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes, when you go through the streets of Ivory Coast, you get to see, you know, market sellers, roadside sellers branding the Ivorian jersey. I mean, it's really interesting to know that there's lots of persons involved in this particular AFCON compared to previous AFCON tournament. Now, at the current rate for the roadside sellers, the jersey goes around 10,000 CFA. That's about 20,000 Naira. So you get to see that that is the minimum wage when you get to buy a jersey on the roadside. But if you go, of course, to buy the authentic jersey, you're talking about, you know, 20,000 upward CFA. That's about almost 40,000 Naira. So that's the price is going at the moment. And we also have flags being sold and different aspects of Ivory Coast, their nation, their football being sold. And I like the awareness in the city because, of course, we know Didier Drogba had once played for Côte d'Ivoire, Yaya has once played for Côte d'Ivoire. But at the moment, we're having the new generation, Sebastian Haller, being displayed, you know, right here in Ivory Coast, in different parts of the country. And then you ask yourself, how long has this player played for the country? It goes to show you how much of work has been done towards projecting the players at the moment, towards having a new generation in Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, not forgetting the media aspect. There's been lots of awareness, different countries trying to adapt. But one major challenge for the Anglophone-speaking nation is the aspect of speaking French. But thanks to, of course, what we use to communicate, and at the end of the day, we get to have it easy. And so far, so good. I've also tried to better and improve my French.
All right, and as long as you're getting to improve your French, you learn the culture, eat their food, and probably bring back a wife to Nigeria. But of course, talking about Nigeria, the fans in the country are not so optimistic about the Super Eagles, looking at the injury issues that we've had. Now we've seen Boniface out of the tournament. There is a Sadiq Umar who confirmed that he'll be out of the tournament as well. Kelechi Iheanacho should join up with the team pending his recovery. And we also hear that Paul Onuachu will replace Sadiq Umar at the tournament for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So the fans are not so optimistic ahead of Nigeria winning that AFCON title.
I do share the sentiments of the fans in Nigeria and across Africa, and that's because, of course, Jose Peseiro had the opportunity to pick 27 players. He decided to go with 25 players, and so far so good. He has had to change 3 players in the squad: Sadiq Umar, Victor Boniface, and at the moment, we don't know how fit Kelechi Iheanacho is coming into camp. And not forget Terry Murphy, who we hear at the moment, the club in France, is looking forward to having played this weekend before joining the team. So at the moment, the only major outright striker we have is Victor Osimhen. And amongst the journalists, you get to hear them say, yes, they want Nigeria to win the trophy, but they are not so optimistic as well. And they're looking at maybe a quarter-final finish for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But of course, I also have a fan and a journalist of Nigeria who is here with me, and he will be telling us also, sharing his thoughts on the Super Eagles and about how they would go ahead to win the tournament. Akuro Tams, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too.
So the Super Eagles of Nigeria, back home in Nigeria, the fans are not optimistic about Nigeria winning the AFCON tournament. Do you share the same thoughts?
I think I understand why they are no longer optimistic, because if you look at it, for the past 3 days or for the past 3-4 days, we have been having issues with injuries, the likes of Sadiq Umar pulling out, Victor Boniface, that's a very, very huge miss. Victor Boniface, Sadiq Umar, Kelechi Iheanacho is sitting and out, we are not, so that's like 3 of our best 4 strikers out. Kelechi Iheanacho, Victor Boniface, and then Sadiq Umar. And then we are still hearing that there may be 1 or 2 small injuries, but those are not official. But I mean, having the likes of Umar, Boniface, and Kelechi Iheanacho out is a very, very big blow for us. So I can understand why Nigerians are now, they're no longer feeling optimistic. I, for one, I feel optimistic. With or without these guys, we can do it. But I understand the plight of many Nigerians, why they now feel like, oh, okay, can we do this? Because those players are very, very instrumental to us.
All right, so where do you think Nigeria will finish?
Honestly, realistically speaking, I feel like if we finish from the group stage, it will be a very good one for us, judging by the squad, because of course we have Victor Osimhen, yes, but if you look at the goalkeeping department, the goalkeeper we have is not to be trusted. Our defense is also not to that. So where we have where we have our strengths are like the midfield and attack. But for defense and the goalkeeping department, that's where we have 1 or 2 issues. So I feel, judging by all this, okay, we can make the quarterfinals. We can make the quarterfinals.
All right. You just said you can make quarterfinals.
We can, yeah.
But I would like to ask you,
yeah,
should the Super Eagles of Nigeria finish at quarterfinal stage? Should Jose Peseiro, remain as the coach of the Super Eagles?
The ultimatum they gave him was semi-finals. And then if he makes the quarterfinals with this squad, I feel he should be given some consideration, because not as it is not his fault, but we lost key players in this period. The period where we lost key players, we are very, very it can worry any squad. It can worry any squad. So I feel like the fact that we had injury problems, and then also Jose Peseiro having the limited players, I for one felt that he should have called more players. But then he didn't call more players, and then now we've shot ourselves in the foot. So we have to just do what we have. So let's just cope with the 25 we have, and then if we finish the quarterfinal, well, it's a good outing for me.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, Sudoka, you just heard different opinions from different persons back home in Nigeria and right here in Ivory Coast. But we'd hope to hear in the next few hours and the coming days from the Nigerian community what they think. But one thing I must tell you for free, Udoka, is the fact that Nigerian communities, from my chat with them so far, they are really optimistic to come to Super Eagles play on Sunday. They've been asking for tickets. They've been talking about, mobilizing more presence in the stadium. That's the Alassane Ouattara Stadium. So whether the team is complete or not, there's always this Niger spirit towards the national team. But we can only hope that the Nigerian squad will fly right here in Ivory Coast.
All right, and we all do look forward to Nigeria playing again. And the popular slogan, let's do it again. We just hope that Nigeria will do it again, not in a bad way now, but in a positive way to go all the way and win the tournament. Thank you very much, Favour Itwa, for joining us. We surely look forward to you giving us more updates as the day goes by.